So this video will be something a little bit different this time because it's going to contain a little bit more about my personal opinion of what's going to happen to the Changi Airport branch of the East-West Line, aka the CGL. It's still early days for the planned modification, but first, let us just start with what we do know that's going to happen to that stretch of the line. The most immediate thing that's happening now is that Tanah Merah station is getting an additional platform to increase capacity. One of the interesting side effects of this project is that through a complicated rerouting of the tracks, a stretch of the rail viaduct between Tanah Merah and Simei will be decommissioned, and there are plans to turn that viaduct into a green corridor, just like the KTM rail corridor, but we are getting an MRT version for the first time. That in and of itself will be interesting to see. I do hope they keep some bits of track on it. Then there's the next major thing that's going to happen to it. The Thomson East Coast Line is planned to be extended to Changi Airport, and then sometime in the 2040s, the Changi Airport branch line to Tanah Merah will be converted to be an extension of the TEL. And this is what we really need to talk about. On the one hand, this sounds like a great idea. It does seem a bit pointless to have just one shuttle line to serve only Expo and Changi Airport, and since TEL is going to Changi, you might as well let it go further to Tanah Merah. It would also be pretty cool to see TEL trains go above ground for the first time, as they would have run exclusively underground up until that point. But it's the works that is needed to make this happen that I have some concerns. First of all, the CGL is using EWL trains, which has 6 carriages and 4 doors per carriage. But the TEL trains have 4 carriages and 5 doors per carriage. This means that the platform screen doors, or the PSDs, will have to be changed. Secondly, the TEL use a completely different signalling system from the EWL one that the CGL uses. Now, I'm not a professional rail engineer by any means, so I can't speak about the operational impact needed to change a signalling system. But even as a layman, it's not hard for me to figure out that changing platform screen doors means some form of closure of the train line itself. So this means that the CGL will be out of commission for some time during the works. And that's not the worst part. The half-height PSDs at Tanah Merah and Expo are relatively easier to change, but the ones at Changi Airport are not only full height, but part of the PSD's infrastructure is solid concrete, which means some serious hacking work needs to be done. If that can't be done because of structural reasons, there will be doors on the TEL trains that will be unusable. Now, conversion of airport train lines is nothing new. London's Heathrow Connect service was an airport to city train line that was converted to be a part of the Elizabeth line not too long ago. But the difference is that the Heathrow stations didn't have platform screen doors that they need to take down and rebuild again. Changi Airport is a critical hub that connects us to the rest of the world, and the closure of a train line that connects that airport to the city, even a partial or temporary one, will certainly have some form of economic impact. Are they going to carry out the PSD conversion works out at Changi while somehow figuring out to keep at least one platform open and let computers put up with all the noise and dust, most of whom are probably first-time visitors to the country? I haven't even mentioned that TEL trains are shorter and have less capacity than the CGL trains. If the point of the expansion works at Tanah Merah is to increase capacity, wouldn't using the shorter TEL trains be counterintuitive to that objective? Also, with the upgrade works at Tanah Merah, are they going to install the PSDs for the current EWL trains only to take them down after a relatively short time and put up new ones for the TEL trains? Seems a bit wasteful, don't you think? With so much disruption needed to convert the already bespoke infrastructure of the CGL to accommodate the TEL, just so that their trains that have less capacity can provide a service on the same route that was already there before, would it really be worth the resources and effort in the end? Now, I have feedback to LTA directly about this. In short, they have acknowledged this issue and said that they will take my feedback into account as they continue to plan. They've also mentioned that the TEL Changi conversion will provide a direct link from Changi Airport to Woodlands North, so that it can link people who want to travel to Johor via the future RTS link. But I argue that that is still a very long way around. I've timed the journey from Woodlands North to Bayshore on the TEL, and the journey took almost 1 hour and 4 minutes. That's already longer than, let's say, if I were to take bus 858 from Changi to Khatib and then continue the journey to Woodlands North via MRT from there. And this is just timing from the doors closing at Woodlands North to the doors opening at Bayshore. So if the journey is already this long right now, can you imagine the journey being even longer with the TEL extension? Besides, there may already be an alternative, more time-saving solution by extending the Cross Island Line Punggol branch to Yishun, or even Woodlands as per the original North Shore Line plans. Yes, I've talked about this before. You can even use this opportunity to connect another airport that most of us forgot that we also have, Seletar. To be clear, I do think that the TEL Changi extension is a good idea per se, as it does provide an alternative route for people to travel from Changi to the city. But I think that extending it just to Changi Airport would be enough, maybe at another platform level below the present day CGL platforms. If the rumours are to be believed, there may already be a station box beneath the Changi CGL platforms, possibly for the original North Shore Line plans, so it might make the work easier already, but building a separate platform from scratch probably works fine too. So before I conclude, I just want to add on this bit that I really do like seeing the latest rolling stock, the Alstom R151, being used on the CGL. In fact, I've noticed recently that the CGL almost exclusively use the R151 these days. It really gives the Changi Airport line a bit of the Elizabeth line feel, and it's not a coincidence because after all, the Elizabeth line also serves the Heathrow Airport. The manufacturers of the R151, Bombardier, which was later acquired by Alstom, they are also behind the Elizabeth line rolling stock itself. And it goes to show that just getting new trains for a train line can really invigorate a train line and also breathe new life into it. And so if that TEL conversion actually happens, I feel that this is something is going to be lost. So look, the thing is this. I can rant about this all day until the cows come home, but at the end of the day, this is just one guy's opinion, maybe an unpopular one, and that's not nearly enough to convince LTA to change their mind about this. As of this recording, LTA has already called tenders for the Tanah Merah station upgrades, so this would probably mean that the TEL conversion is going to happen anyway. But we have seen LTA roll back on controversial changes before, as we have seen with the Simply Go fiasco last year. So after listening to all the pros and cons that I mentioned, and if you think that there's a genuine concern about proceeding with the CGL to TEL conversion, then maybe you may want to contact and email LTA and let them know your thoughts about it. I'll probably leave a link to their contact page in the description below. But if you think the disruption and hassle is worth it, then I'd really like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, I hope that you've enjoyed this little insight. Thanks for watching and see you soon.